Mr. Rosa, I'm giving you direct orders to go behind your door, please.
I'm not.
I've been spoken to in a threatening manner before, but nothing quite that threatening.
I've seen crack houses better condition than this.
Did you expect Earl Stick to be like the Ritz?
There's more drugs in prison than there is on the out.
Yeah, so that's done.
All the time.
Move the iron then!
Definitely Bullingdon is the worst prison out of the 34 prisons I've been in.
No idea what you're talking about. Get out,
This is where it really starts.
Bottle of faeces and urine been thrown all over the wing office.
Oh, look at that. £13 on eBay, approximately £250 in here.
Bend it down! Bend it down!
You keep talking, you're going to go with the seg.
Excuse us, lads.
You know, society washes their hands with these guys. I don't want to do that.
Basically, I kept my friend hostage. I'm sorry about this, I'm very sorry, but go with it. And she was like, what do you mean? And then I pulled out the blade.
Tracy!
Britain's prison estate stretches from Inverness to Dartmoor. Over 6 months, we followed the extremes of life inside. From women's prisons, young offender institutions, high security jails.
Life, innit? I've been doing this shit for years.
And for the first time, we're inside one of Britain's most notorious specialist units, reserved for some of the most serious offenders in the UK.
I think the association with it being on an island gives it that Alcatraz-style vibe. If you're going to play up on the mainland anywhere, and we're going to move you, you'll go to Parkhurst, you'll go to the Isle of Wight. And that's never changed. There's so much history, the craze. Rope removed from Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper, for a potential escape, or for strangling somebody, who knows.
5 years ago, the Isle of Wight became a specialist prison.
Do you remember we had his Xbox off him? I reckon he had porn on his Xbox hard drive.
Today, it houses more than 1,000 sex offenders.
Some tissue in that back hinge.
Officers here are specially trained to deal with the challenges that presents.
We'll do under his bed and then we'll lift his bed up.
It's one of the first prisons to have its own dedicated search team. It's 7 a.m.
All right, mate.
And search team officer Jamie Smith is leading the daily hunt for contraband.
Target search is intelligence-led, so it's all built up through intelligence that's gathered by staff.
In a prison full of sex offenders, one particular object is top priority.
Main things we're looking for, mobile phones. Mobile phones are massive for us. The importance of the phone here is huge because of the victim, the knock-on effect. If that prisoner has a level 1 restriction against him, it means they can't make contact with anybody under the age of 18, and it allows them to talk to people that they shouldn't be talking to. That one phone's a big deal. Every month, all fines that we get, they all vary. So sort of getting to be more common fines are CZ longs, which are, obviously, as you can see, exceptionally small. The safest place for a prisoner to store that phone is up their bum. Normally found like these with a latex glove. They'll even lend that phone out, they'll swap it into another glove, rent it out and bring it back. And very, very difficult to find when secreted. They market it as being 99% metal-free. So a metal detector, they claim, won't pick it up. Not searching before, have I?
Jamie and the team have a tip-off that one of the inmates has a phone.
You do what you gotta do, I do what I gotta do.
The prisoner is serving 9 years for drugging and raping 2 women. Because the officers are acting on intelligence, they can go beyond the normal cell search.
Because he is a target search or routine plus, he does get a full stroke. We will have to check his privates. It has to happen. And if we're remotely suspicious that he's got something there, we then take it up to another level. Target search, OK? I'm looking for a mobile phone. Right, super. Boxes off for me, please.
Better when you took them off.
OK, if you turn and face myself, don't put your hands up. Lift your tackle up for me.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Right, slow squat for me. Turn around for me. Right, if you want to get your legal papers out for me and place them on the bed. He's been given a wand with a handheld metal detector and he seems to be clear. So he's now been put in a sterile area. We'll continue to search his cell, floor to ceiling, light fittings, doors, anything you can think of we'll go into. The game will continue, so just see where it takes us.
Phones are just one item of contraband the dedicated search team has been trained to root out.
Hello.
Another is drugs. As in most prisons across the country, drugs are a major problem here. Some prisoners receive their drugs courtesy of the Royal Mail, so every morning, all prisoner mail must be individually searched and scanned.
It's what's known as a rapid scan machine. Very sophisticated. We're looking for cocaine, amphetamine, heroin, cannabis. We're also looking for the new spice, as everybody's talking about these days. There's a lot of that coming into jails at the moment. They're actually spraying it onto envelopes and on letters as well. It's very time-consuming for staff, very time-consuming. As you can see, I've got to open every single letter, every single day of the week. Christmas was fantastic because we actually had thousands and thousands and thousands of cards and letters, and now it's Valentine's Day now as well, which doesn't really help. However, this is the best form of detection we've got at the present moment in time.
A highly potent psychoactive drug, spice, now accounts for 60% of positive drug tests in British jails. The search team is alert to every strategy used to smuggle the drugs in.
Have you found all the green ones of that size? A hollow?
2 chess pieces taken from a cell feel lighter than the rest of the set. The pawns are taken back to the lab for analysis.
Found 2 chess pieces, clearly been hollowed out, filled with a substance. The substance we believe to be spice, and one of them's just positive for spice. We'll just test the other one now. Yeah. Yep.
But in a prison holding so many sex offenders, officers are looking for a different kind of porn. Over-the-counter pornography is permitted to some prisoners, depending on their offence. But for the most serious offenders, even seemingly innocent publications are considered high risk and are censored.
Catalogues that they get given have children images. He would have that removed. We'd probably leave him with the actual catalogues, but we take the front cover of it. A lot of these images get changed, the faces get cut out and get stuck onto bodies of adults.
Sex offenders at HMP Isle of Wight are encouraged to attend rehabilitation programmes to stop them reoffending on the outside. But the contraband can tell its own story.
If he's still cutting out children's faces, it shows that he could be sitting doing a programme and saying all the right things and doing all the right things, but in his personal environment, he's still offending. It can't happen, so we have to be thorough. We have to make sure we check those little things. Otherwise, you're failing, and you can't fail when somebody's going to be released at some point, and we could have picked up on that.
As the search continues, Jamie picks up extremely serious intelligence from a prisoner.
These people here telling me, oh, I've got a USB stick with 4 movies, you want to rent it for £10 a week.
Unless you want to tell me who's got it, there's nothing we can do about it, is there?
I've already spoken with one in your colleagues, you don't need to worry about that.
He told us that there is a memory stick doing the rounds on this wing that's full of child porn. And that's the reality. That stick in this environment is massive, but it's probably the size of the end of your thumb. And as you can see, Sea-Wing's huge. The hiding places, because it's an old jail, are phenomenal. And that's if it's not behind his foreskin, up his bum, a cat and mouse.
If you believe in you, no one can bring you down. All that you've been through and who you've become, you are stronger now, you are stronger now, you are stronger now.
It's Wednesday afternoon at one of Britain's largest women's prisons, HMP Downview.
Show them they were wrong. It's good, isn't she?
Prisoners on Sea-Wing are relaxing.
Wow, that's strong, girl. That's it. I don't put this buzz in his friend now. No, fuck up. Because I put little pieces up.
Tracy Dyke is serving 4 years for burglary. On the outside, she was a crack addict. Inside, her drug of choice is spice.
I put enough on so I can cope with it, innit? Because I've had bad turns on it. Obviously, it's sprayed with spice, innit? Makes you feel buzzing.
Over £100 million worth of drugs are smuggled into jails up and down the country.
So they spray the paper, so that's how they're getting it in, obviously, for the letters in it. So obviously they're spraying letters, sending them into people, and they're ripping the smoke in the paper in it because it's sprayed with spice.
Without the latest technology for detecting drugs, spice is rife in Downview.
If someone is that determined to do something or get something, they will get it. And you will have members of the public that are prepared to risk it, you will have the prisoners that are prepared to risk it, and members of staff. There's always ways of smuggling in contraband, and we have to be up in our game, reviewing our procedures and doing lots of different things to try and stop the supply, because it's only when we can stop the supply we can start working with the people that are demanding the supply.
This is Tracy's second stint at HMP Downview and her 7th time in prison. Many of her crimes have been drug-related.
When I drug deal, I smoke the parcels. So I get myself into fucking issues. It's not fucking good, is it? And then I start robbing dealers.
So you're not a very good drug dealer?
No, definitely not. My life's been chaotic. I started coming to jail properly when I was 21. I was naughty when I was young, getting arrested for street robberies. Then I got pregnant with my son. I had him for a few years at home. And then I moved to that hostel in London because I get away from my baby father. And then I was date raped with Rohypnol. And that's when I started taking heroin. And then I started committing crime again.
Tracy has a month to serve of her current sentence. Like 60,000 other prisoners, she's receiving treatment for a drug habit.
And they're going to show you the picture of me. When I've come into prison, January the 9th, 2017.
It's mad, isn't it? And then this is the newest one. So completely different. How do you feel about seeing that photo now of yourself from when you first came in?
When I look at it, I just think that person wasn't me. Obviously, yeah, she was a broken person, innit? Fucked on drugs.
Tracy's been called in for a chat with Officer Natalie Hollidge.
Like seeing how unhealthy and ill you look to how healthy and well you're looking now.
Yeah. I go back on him and I think, fucking hell, how did I let myself get like that? But I didn't, it was the drugs, wasn't it? Drugs took over me. Yeah.
Natalie wants Tracy off the drugs and is keen that she attends rehab when she leaves the prison.
We've spoken about it quite a lot, haven't we? Yeah. And I think that it will be really beneficial for you to do it. You've done group work here.
Yeah.
So if you can deal with it in here, you can deal with anything on the outside, can't you?
I want it more than anything with Hollis to stay clean.
I know.
But I've never gone outside, like, using before any of my sentences, so I can't say if it's just because I'm in prison. I'm nervous and anxious about getting out now. Even more so now, because I know it's literally, what?
A couple of weeks.
Fucking hell. Oh my God.
Two-thirds of prisoners in Britain received treatment for drug and alcohol problems last year alone. The number of drugs seized inside has risen by nearly 400% since 2010.
I could go out that door now, and within 2 seconds, I could get myself probably most drugs that are going.
Nearly £1 billion has been spent trying to get offenders off drugs. Downview is the home of the UK's first intensive drug rehabilitation programme, but it's a constant battle to keep prisoners clean.
The Governor has authorised that any prisoner may be required by a prison officer to provide a sample of urine for the purposes of testing for the presence of a controlled drug or specified drug. You ready, Amy? I think so. Come then.
The Governor has ordered an MDT, or mandatory drugs test, for prisoners on C Wing.
So we need to collect a urine sample in one of these pots from each of them ladies. So now it's just the waiting game.
I need 30 mils, yeah? Yeah. We'll do that? Yeah. Yeah? Don't touch the pot.
But what?
Don't touch the pot any time. You'll see why in a minute. There's a special basis for it. So don't touch.
Yeah.
Don't flush.
Yeah. So if there's something in their hands and it falls in, then it can contaminate it.
Back in her cell, this is the last thing that Tracy needed.
It's going to be positive, isn't it?
It might not be, no.
No, it's going to be positive.
No, trust me, it might not be. Right, so when they come
For Spice Girl Tracy, a positive result could mean weeks, even months added to her sentence.
I'm not. I go home in 24 days. I don't care. They can't do it. I've been in 2.5 years. I do not want to stay any longer. When do you fucking sniff?
It's over 24 hours since the prisoners on C Wing took a mandatory drugs test, and Officer Natalie Hollidge has just got inmate Tracy Dyke's results.
Tracy got a positive MDT for spice and cocaine.
For real? We're going to do this?
She's due to be released next Friday. She's been banging on for the last few weeks, like, I'm clean, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, and then she's obviously been picked up for her MDT, and then the results have come back as positive, and not even just for one thing either, like, it's 2 things. So it's like, obviously you have been using, but whether it was just a one-time thing or it was a case of she was doing it and then just got caught out, I don't know. I will never know, and no one else will ever know either, only Tracy will know. I just hope that she does have the strength to carry on with rehab.
Tracy, what? Do you want to come in the office?
No.
As a result of being positive for drugs, Tracy's worried she'll have to serve extra days on her current sentence unless she formally commits to a rehabilitation programme on her release.
Fuck the rehab. I'm taking out 90 days. Fucking hell, I'm just going to start being lonely every single day. Put me down the block. I don't want the rehab on my licence, so if I go out there and rehab doesn't work for me, yeah, I'm not being recalled, I'm not having it, I'm not having it. Just give me the added days, I'll take the added days, fuck the rehab off, and I'll just go out and just go and use drugs again. And the society will be haywire because I'll be committing crime and coming back to jail. It don't bother me. Prison doesn't faze me at all. They're just doing it to get what they want. Yeah, I genuinely need help. I'm 14 days for release. I've got an adjudication outstanding pending that I could get added days for if I don't go to rehab. But I'm not having rehab on my licence. It's not happening. I'm not, no way. I've not been told by the judge in court that I've got to do rehab. He told me to come to prison for 4 years, do your sentence, and you get out. I've done it all off my own fucking back, going to rehab, so the society doesn't have to put up with me committing crime all the time. Yeah, and me being a drug addict. Seriously, I don't think you seem to understand. I'm a drug addict. I've never gone out of prison clean off drugs. This is my hometown. Kingston's around the corner. I can come out this gate and get drugs. I need to know what's going on with myself, yeah? Now.
After spending 8 of the last 14 years in prison, Tracy is extremely nervous about life on the outside.
I used a lot of subtext. Oh, Tracy. Right, okay. I didn't use it at all. No, that's fine. So you had a little blip? So you had a little blip? I was MDT the next day. Okay. It's not going to be easy, and that time is getting closer and closer and closer. And it is going to be scary, but you need to keep telling yourself and reminding yourself that you are going out to a safe place. You're not walking out onto the streets, you're going somewhere. You've got a roof over your head, you're going to have food in your stomach, you're going to have clothes on your back, you're going to be looked after. You're going to be all right. Here's a hug. Thanks, Miss Weston. That's all right, mate. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. You're just scared of going. That's what it all boils down to. You're scared of going. You spent a long time in it. You've become institutionalised. Yeah? All right, thanks, Miss. See you later. Take it easy.
It's 2:30 at HMP Bullingdon, Oxfordshire. And officers are on their way to a cell disturbance on D Wing.
Calm down, fellas, calm down. Merman, sit on your bed. Sit on the bed. Sit on the bed. Sit down, let the healthcare come in and see to your mate. All right, we'll come back for you. Come out.
2 prisoners found in the cell are under the influence of spice. They become zombies, they like to lash out, they don't know what they're doing, and it causes us a lot of grief, unfortunately.
Is this blood made off his head as well, face as well?
Spice has been linked to a 3-fold increase in unnatural deaths inside British jails.
Ollie! What's he been smoking? What's going on, lads? Ollie!
All prisons try to stop the supply of drugs, but in Bullingdon, they're taking action to tackle the demand. Supervising Officer Mark Walker is spearheading a radical project to create a drug-free spur on C Wing.
The ways of getting drugs into the prison system is horrendous. You will never stop it, but there are genuine people who want to be drug-free. Spur 1 can hold a maximum of 60, Spur 3 holds a maximum of 60, and Spur 2 holds a maximum of 75 prisoners. What we've implemented on Spur 2 is an enhanced and drug-free or drug recovery unit where we try to give them an encouragement to remain drug-free while they're in prison. So if this is successful, we will then increase it to another Spur.
Every prisoner coming onto Spur 2 must sign a contract to stay off drugs.
All on there for you, mate. I'll let you have a quick read through that.
I want to get a job and settle down there.
That's what we want on there, isn't it?
They know that if they fail a drugs test, they'll be thrown off the Spur.
You know this is your last chance now, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
Don't fuck about.
Oh, no. Let me get my
Huh?
Let me get my job back.
You got to prove yourself to the Spur stuff. It's on you, isn't it? Really?
In return, the prisoners get some perks. There's extra time in the gym and access to a microwave and toaster.
They put a microwave on there, put a cooker on there, and tell people, come on here. They're not coming here because they want to get off drugs. They're coming here because they want to make some toast.
They're never going to make it drug-free. There's more drugs in prison than there is on the out.
Yeah, so I said last time.
All the time.
So I think we've got a real balanced group on the Spur at the minute.
The first batch of prisoners have now moved onto the drug-free Spur. Mandatory drugs tests will be a feature of the new regime.
So MDTs are going to start being more regular.
What is the consequence of failing the MDT?
The MDT will have a punitive award.
Okay.
Okay, so you can end up placing a report, you can end up done the same.
Today, a notorious drug addict is the latest surprise recruit.
I'm a little bit anxious, but I'm looking forward to the journey. My head's at a better place, so I want to progress. I'm willing to give anything a go, to be honest. I've had enough. I'm bored of my life, bored of the drugs.
37-year-old Kevin Jones is serving 7 years for carrying a dangerous weapon and making threats to kill.
Can you, brother? Hope you get better soon, yeah? When I first come to jail, I was quite aggressive. I was fighting the officers.
Kevin Jones. Right, Jones.
Kevin has a history of violence, reoffending, and drug use.
I've done drugs since the age of 11. Come in with a cocaine and crack addiction.
Make yourself aware of Kevin. He's going to probably need a bit more support than some of the others.
Hopefully, he'll settle in. He knows all the expectations. As long as the drugs kept away from him.
Yeah, I'm going, mate. And you.
This is pretty much your opportunity now, yeah? We're here now.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we'll give you the afternoon to settle in. I'll send some mentors to come and see you.
Okay, yeah.
And then hopefully we can push this forward. All right.
Yeah.
Right, I'll leave your door so you need to get your stuff. All right.
Yeah, nice one.
Okay.
I'm now 37, nearly 38. I'm getting bored, I'm getting too old for it. And I want to leave prison, start a relationship with my kids again. Not only to prove to myself that I can do it, to prove to my family members that I've let down in the past because of drugs.
Fellas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Store. Who's store?
Since setting up his drug-free spur in HMP Bullingdon, Supervising Officer Mark Walker's been besieged by prisoners desperate to kick the habit.
Huh? No, 3 men. We only do 3-man bang-ups on there.
Kevin Jones has now been clean for 16 weeks after a lifetime of drug abuse.
I was put into care when I was 2. So I've been brought up with social services most of my life. Basically, before the age of 11, I was doing really well at school, and then I was adopted with a family. I started to rebel against that, obviously, and then I was put into children's home, and that's where my life just went completely downhill.
Kevin's been given a cleaning job to keep his mind off drugs, but he's desperate for a new challenge.
I get bored very easily, and when I get bored, that's when I get in trouble. DHL apparently are crying for people, and if everything's cleared, I can get a job with DHL.
Just don't try and run before you can walk, right?
Yeah, I know that, yeah, right. I'm happy.
But prison jobs are categorised by risk. Organising the weekly canteen delivery run by private firm DHL involves going off the wing and needs the highest security clearance.
This is going to be the major test because on the unit, he's only interacting with people that want to be drug-free. And I can't guarantee who he's going to interact with. 5 weeks ago, he wouldn't even been considered for this unit. And he has progressed so much in such a short time, I don't want to see it all blown away in the space of a couple of weeks.
For Bullingdon's governor, Ian Blakeman, the drug-free spur is a huge gamble. He's put his reputation on the line, and he knows the project could backfire.
There's always a danger if you create an area of people who've previously been in touch with drugs, people who previously had addiction problems, you put them in one area, you can create a market for drugs that dealers might gravitate towards there. So you're on here for drug recovery? Yeah. How's it going?
Yeah, C2's all right. We've got toasters on the wing, microwaves.
OK, what about the availability of drugs on here, the drug testing?
Nah, not on here. Not on here, nah.
Fantastic.
There's no drugs on here.
How's it going?
Yeah, all right, yeah, sound. No, there's no temptation, do you know what I mean? I come here because I just needed to, like, calm my wing and to stay away from, do you know what I mean, trouble and that. And just progress, really, and it's a better way to progress. you see your key worker more often, you see people you need to see, just a whole round better win.
Detox. You're on detox. You're on detox.
1 in 6 prisoners in Bullingdon take drug replacement medication.
No detox. No detox. Back to F-wing. Thank you. Anybody else on detox?
Known as detox drugs, they can help kick the habit.
You're on detox. You're on detox.
But Officer Walker believes these prisoners are more likely to relapse, and he doesn't want them on the spur.
Are you on detox? Because the minute, if you say you are, you won't get any on here because it's the drug-free unit.
Detox? We don't want a detox.
What?
Like I want detox to you. It's definitely the same. He's fine. This is.
When was the last time you took drugs?
Sunday. I got arrested.
You want to give him a chance for Talker? 317? No? OK, fine.
Still clean, but still cleaning, Kevin waits for word on his job application.
Kevin Jones.
They've knocked him back.
They knocked him back for DHL, which is officially high risk. They've knocked him back for a red band. So he needs to be given a medium risk job. He's not going to accept it very well because he's been on edge for the last 4 days.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Kevin's about to be given the bad news.
I finally got it from security, and they've said no. So I spoke to Mr. Walker because he was up here just a minute ago dealing with someone else. Now he said he thinks looking at something possibly like laundry for you.
Don't get me wrong, I appreciate your help, Mr. Walker and Mr. Gilby, and I know a lot of the staff are on my side, but
yeah,
it seems people keep putting barriers in the way. I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty pissed off, but
yeah.
what can I do? Do you know what? There's no point in kicking and screaming. It's just not going to get anywhere, it's just going to prove they're right. I'm not very happy. I feel like I've tried to do my best. Oh, I'm going to be 100% straight with you. I am getting really pissed off.
I don't want all that hard work to be blown up in 5 minutes.
I was literally 5 minutes away from fighting with someone a minute ago. I'm so pissed off. The security's getting on my nerves.
I don't want you to go back to your old ways, do I?
No, and I don't.
This is why we've got you on. This is why we've got you on.
6 months ago, I would have gone mental by now. Probably the alarms would be going, I'll be getting wrapped up, but what's that going to get me apart from getting me down the block?
The rejections come from security, and he's taken that hard. If the temptation's there, I just had the feeling that he would do something silly regarding the use of illegal substances. And if he goes back down that road, everything's going to be destroyed.
Bet you any money he's the one with the stick. He's the sort of person who'd have child porn.
In HMP Isle of Wight, a specialist sex offenders prison, Officer Jamie Smith is still on the trail of a USB stick which may contain child pornography.
He's in for children, all age 15 at the time of the offences. So he's not Cat A, but he's still high public interest.
Target searches have been stepped up.
It's Hubs, good morning, how are you? There's a lockdown search going on. That's what we're going to do. It's a routine plus.
But it's provoked a backlash from prisoners.
We are entitled to do this. You're not, though? We are, though.
Wing's been very disruptive over the last few days with quite a large group of prisoners trying to take some form of control. There's lots of intelligence to suggest that there are weapons involved. The Wing office yesterday was potted, which is a bottle of faeces and urine been thrown all over the Wing office.
The team must act quickly to stop any inmate rebellion. They start by targeting suspected ringleaders.
So this is about disruption, fines, hopefully. We go for the key players first because they won't know we're coming.
We're here for a full search on your cell, OK? You're not the only one that's been searced. Others are being searched as well.
Why are you touching me? There's no need to touch me.
Just chill out a little bit.
No, I'm not going to chill out because you
Mr.
just came in.
Margaret, listen to me. The DST, and we're here for a full search.
Why?
That's
Why?
fine.
Why?
Have you got anything in this cell that doesn't belong to you?
Someone told you something about skinning myself, so write it down on a piece of paper. I want to have it before you search me.
We will write
I want
it
to have it
down for
before you search me.
That's not what we do.
Why not? I want to have it before you search me, though.
Take your hands out your pockets.
You're gonna do as you told. You shut up, innit? What you trying to tell me? Shut up, fella. You shut up, bro. I just told you, bro. What are you gonna do? I don't know for this. What do that do? What did
Jamie, all right? Lift your knees to your chest.
Let me get my shoes on. Let me get my shoes on. You make any sort of movement, you're going down. Do you understand? Listen, do you understand?
The prisoner is eventually subdued and taken to the SEG while his cell is searched.
So he was restrained after attempting to bite and refusal to comply with the search. He's now in the segregation unit. They've already had fines on him, which is pregabalin tablets, of which he's not on, but pregabalin gives them a fairly good hit, gives them a high. They've already found another bottle of faeces, another bottle of urine, I believe in non-attributable areas, so hidden under a sink in a recess. So already the intel was right. Somebody was going to get that today, whether it be another wing office, whether it be somebody's face.
As the searches escalate, more and more incriminating items are uncovered.
3 bottles in one cell, full of urine. It's quite clearly hiding them in readiness. And, you know, quite a substantial amount that you really wouldn't want that thrown over your face.
As well as the urine, Jamie finds disturbing evidence the prisoners are preparing for a physical battle on the wing.
You can see where it's split. And then it'll end up just being a weapon. That, as you can imagine, it's already got a serrated edge. But across somebody's neck, it's just so easy. Why?
Right, team, thank you very much. Very fruitful exercise. Quite a few finds. Is that a makeshift weapon, Jamie?
Yeah, non-attributable.
Non-attributable.
Urine, faeces.
Allen key, faeces, etc. like that. That was all destined for a member of staff.
The team has made 2 highly significant finds. The first in a stereo recovered from a prisoner's cell.
If you notice in the back of the stereo here, there's a bit of blue. Take the front off and see what's there. Fronts come off quite easily. I'm going to remove that now. See what we've got. Oh, look at that. Little mobile phone. Happy days. That's what we're dealing with. £13 on eBay, approximately £250 in here. That is a very good find.
And after 12 days, the hunt for the USB stick is finally over. It was found hidden in a crevice on the wing, and the contents have now been examined.
As we've found in the past, exceptionally small. Fortunately, it is all adult pornography, but ultimately, the nature of the establishment we're in, the threat is that we do find pornography that does involve children, but it's out the system, you know, and that's what's important.
It's 5 years since this famous old jail became a specialist prison for sex offenders.
The association with prison is violence, it's murder, it's drugs, it's... and that was my association with it, and that is what I dealt with when I joined the job. When you're dealing with somebody that it's a theft or it's a robbery, or you can tackle that differently. A sex offender's mind is far more complex than that. Some of the country's highest risk are here, and it is challenging. Me personally, I struggle with it. I always have. Having a family, having children. To do the job is about talking to people which most people could never, ever comprehend the same way as I'm talking to you. And you do take that home. I take it home. The level of trust that I give other people with my children, super, super difficult. And I imagine most think the same. How many people would admit it? I don't know. I don't know.
Go and speak to Miss Martinez at the gate.
In Bullingdon Prison, the drug-free spur has now been up and running for almost 6 months. To test whether the experiment is working, officers are springing a surprise drug test on all 65 inmates, and today is the moment of truth.
So the top line, as you can see, is all the way across. It confirms that the test is working. As you can see, though, under each substance, there's a line there which confirms that there is none of these substances in that sample, which so that's a pass. So that's a negative test. Handy little things, to be fair. Really quick to work, really easy to use.
The governor is back to hear the results.
I did 65 tests.
Yeah.
Some showed up for prescribed medication.
OK.
And everyone else was clear.
65 passes is just incredible, isn't it?
One of the 65 is Kevin Jones. He's now been clean for 7 months. And he's got his reward with a job off the wing.
You'll never enjoy life in prison, but I think it's getting easier every day, to be honest. I'm always going to have my ups and downs. I'm hoping by the time I leave, I'm going to be a totally different person. Get out, see my kids, have a good relationship with them. I'm going to try everything possible I can do to not come back.
For Sea Wing Supervising Officer Mark Walker, this is only the beginning.
If you have one spur out of the 3 that is a recovery unit, but the other 2 spurs are still on the illicit drugs, then it's difficult. What you'd like is a complete unit, self-contained. With 2 years left before I retire, that will be my goal. And if that happens, I will leave the service after 30 years a happy man.
It's the day of Tracy Dyke's release.
I don't even remember how I got in the jail, let alone get out of it.
Tracy's not been penalised for her positive drugs test due to a shortage of adjudicating officers.
See you later, Frank. We're all going home.
This means she can leave prison without agreeing to attend rehab on the outside.
I love you. I love you. Let me see if you've got 7 weeks to get out. Hi. See you at the gate, yeah? See you at the gate. See you at the gate. Love ya. How are you feeling? Fucking epic. Just want to get out of this fucking gate. I'm really fat. I need to lose a bit of weight when I get out. Smoke crack, I'll lose weight.
This is the face that you need to remember.
What do you think I'm going to say?
What?
What do you think I'm going to say?
You tell me.
No, you tell me.
Don't come back.
Where are you going today?
To my sister's.
Right. With the intention of doing what?
Just going to my
Staying
sister's.
out of trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you,
All
Mr.
right.
Weston. Thank you.
You're going back to an area where you committed your crimes, where you were involved in a gang. You're not best placed to turn your life around.
If I don't go and use drugs, I'll be all right. But if I use drugs, then it could potentially bring me back. Well, I want to smoke a crack pipe.
She has been given a fantastic opportunity to go to rehab and actually sort her life out, get on the right track. But obviously she's chosen not to.
I'm ready to stay clean, but I want to smoke. It's a catch-22, isn't it? I might just take a load of pre-gabs today and see how I feel. Oh, I don't know. Just let me out. See you later. Thank you.
It's not just because it's our job. We have a genuine belief that actually at some point that person will turn it around.
Oh my God, you look so gorgeous. Thank you. See you later.
Go on, Barry.
I have won every single protest.
Fucking hell. No, look at the state of the toilet though.
I walked over. I just kicked them in the head. Punched them, dropped them. Can't let them get away with it, because then everyone else that owes money, they often they can get away with it as well, you know what I mean? Then what? And giving drugs away for free.
And inside prison, Britain Behind Bars concludes next Thursday night at 9, and if you've missed any, the series so far is available now on ITV Hub. Keith's got James Blunt, Mark Wright, Catherine Ryan and Richard Arnold bringing new Celebrity Juice to ITV2 next tonight. And looking ahead to tomorrow night here on ITV, don't miss the Czech Republic v England. You can see that Euro 2020 qualifier live at 7.